Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Not Nether War. Um,
Yeah.
Welcome to the first episode of our new ongoing series, Freedom Week Dark and the Multiverse of the Master Mage. We are officially coming back to our Nether War heroes and their subsequent adventures in the wider multiverse. We are embarking on a grand campaign which will take us across the Earth Prime multiverse and a few universes beyond even that umbrella. As our heroes hunt down the renegade Master Mage Adrian Eldritch, this first episode is titled The Memory Remains. Thank you for joining us for your new weekly dose of superhero shenanigans in our new time slot. My name is Alex, and I will be your humble game master this evening. Tonight we are playing Green Running Publishing's Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG. M&M is a superhero-centric role-playing game that generates exciting narrative superhero action through a D20 system. The central mechanic of the game is a d20 plus a modifier versus a difficulty check. It is super simple and allows tons of flexibility for gamers looking to tell stories ripped right out of their favorite comics and movies. There's also a wide open character creation system to bring your ideal superhero to life. The last thing I want to touch on in this system is one of my favorite game mechanics ever. Mutants and Masterminds gives players hero points to supercharge their actions in game. These points can be used to reroll dice, edit a scene, to include something the GM didn't explicitly describe in a scene, and even to modify or improve a character's powers for that extra oomph to get out of a sticky situation. Hero points are earned by leaning into genre tropes, acting heroically, good role playing, jokes I think are funny, jokes I think aren't funny, and suffering setbacks just like superheroes and other media. Also, here at the Untold Stories Project, we have another way for our plucky heroes to earn those points, and that is from you, the audience. Anyone who follows, subscribes, or renews a subscription, or donates bits to the stream, or is a member of our Patreon, is given a hero point that you may give to the hero or GM of your choice. Speaking of which, thank you so much, Squire, for giving your Patreon hero point to me. I will promise I will use it to ruin everybody's day, and to Calvin for giving your Patreon hero point to the table so that you guys can maybe not ruin my day. We'll see. Um, there's a lot of pinging going on over there.
Hype train.
Hype train. Oh, and there's a robot. Get out of here. Where's that zombie dinosaur? So yeah, lots of hero points just came in. Please let me know where you want your hero points to go, and I will try to log into Twitch so I can get rid of that bot. I do want to mention that we have a new lineup for this season. Unfortunately, the grim specter of scheduling has necessitated that we move to Wednesday nights. Kevin unfortunately had some real life obligations that prevented him from moving to this night with us, which means that Overdrive's walkabout is going to last a little while longer than we thought. Kevin will be able to come back for a few special events. He's not gone forever, and I'm sure with the way I write this story, we'll be swimming in overdrives before too long. But here at USP, when one Kevin closes, another one opens, it would seem.
Stop!
Not even 5 minutes in.
Oh my god!
I want to thank Deuce for stepping up to play in a full-time capacity here with us on Wednesday nights. He has been a long-time participant in our one-shots, and I'm so excited for him to join a cast full-time. We've gathered some returning heroes tonight. Say welcome back, heroes.
Welcome
Welcome back,
heroes.
heroes.
Back heroes.
Oh my god.
There it is.
This is going great. This is going great. I want to give everyone a chance to tell us a little bit about themselves, the character they will be playing, and have them answer my question of the day, which is, what is one thing, your fun thing, your character has done between seasons? And we'll start with Kat, because Kat is now in the hot seat.
I don't like this change. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm playing Centuria, my special version of Centuria that comes from a different universe. You can find me here. I almost said on Mondays, on Wednesdays. Now for this, I'm so excited to be back. And as for the question of the day, I'm just going to remind everyone that she recently got her husband back. So I'm sure that there has been some fun things going on in that aspect, and then I will wink and then pass it to Josie.
Giggity.
Hi, everybody. I am Jonesy, and tonight I'll be reprising my role as Mortis, the living dead guy. I'm excited to be back as Mortis. It's been a long time, and I forgot just how overly complicated his character sheet is. So that will be a fun experience. As far as the question of the day, I don't know if it qualifies as fun. Some people will qualify as fun, but Mortis is not one of those. Nick is, and that has been the initial planning of the wedding. Arguing about dates and whose family members are not invited and and the like.
Which Greek gods are invited?
And which ones are not.
Yep.
So, and the short answer is no one's family was invited because both of our families kind of suck. So, with that, I will kick it down over to Bowman.
Hey everyone. I'm Calvin, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm all flustered and nervous. But I'm playing Bowman. The I should have written the thing down. The what was it? Agile archer with the awesome array of arrows.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. This is gonna take some getting used to. It's because it's on Wednesdays. Somehow I'm flustered on Wednesdays,
Yeah.
but also here on Tuesdays. And as for the question of the day, something fun he was doing over our break. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of some specific thing he might have been up to. But I think that probably the most fun thing he had was just getting to visit the Claremont Academy again. Going back to his...
He did adopt a whole child.
He did. He literally did.
A whole child, not part of a child.
Say whole's an interesting qualifier.
Until he gets his robot arm. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Are you saying that the
Jason
robot
Beaumont
arm is not part of Bowman's son?
Well, he didn't adopt the arm.
He's saying the whole child's defective. He's got 2 fleshy arms.
Yeah, so that was probably the highlight of his time between seasons. And with that, I'll pass it off to Andy.
Everyone, I'm Andy. I'm here on Wednesday nights for our superhero shenanigans. You can also find me over on our YouTube channel where I host the Storyforge series and over on our website where I write some blog posts every now and again. Tonight, I am reprising the role of Resonant, our resident gem mage. And for Resonant, the last bit of time has probably been spent doing a lot of reading. Not all of it for fun, I'm imagining. But some of it for fun. So with that, I will pass it on over to Deuce.
Howdy, everybody. I'm the Deuce, fulfilling our Kevin quota for the Freedom League games. Lovely to be here. I'll be bringing Emerald City's least favorite son, Gator Man, to the table. So for something fun he's been doing, that's probably parole. You know, he's had a hard time. But with that, I'll pass it back to Alex.
Cool. What's something fun I did during break? Ran Guardians of Haven.
What did Arctic Fox do?
Auditioned to be on The Real Bachelor after hearing what happened in the Idiot Box.
This week on Villainous Bachelor.
Will you accept this time bomb?
I would like to play a game. Okay, well, I think now that we have fully flustered ourselves, I think without further ado, we can go ahead and begin. So, last time we met these heroes, because it was a different show back then, last time on Nether War, we met a group of heroes in high school at the Claremont Academy over a decade ago who had a close encounter with the being known as Una, Queen of the Netherworld, in which they lost their friend Seven to the Void. These heroes went their separate ways for over a decade and came back when fate needed them most to. They were joined by Centuria, initially the real Centuria, but then our new Centuria, who is more real than the other Centuria.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Centuria Prime, I suppose, not Centuria Netherworld.
Sure.
And they banded together to undo the plans of this Una, Queen of the Netherworld, to bring all of reality into her dark dimension where she would become a godlike being who could plunge all of the multiverse into horribleness and awfulness. This was something that they survived, despite betrayals from close friends like Sophie, betrayals
Close is
from...
a strong qualifier.
Friend is a strong color, right? Too.
Bowman liked her.
He did.
Bowman's got bad taste.
He does.
True.
Yeah, you're correct.
He hangs out with Mortis. He's got bad taste.
I just want to see that drunk night after Nether War where Mortis and Medea and Nick just drag Bowman. But yeah, our heroes were able to triumph over Una, preventing her from plunging the multiverse into darkness. But, unbeknownst to them, their former mentor, Adrian Eldritch, deceived them into causing a wider issue throughout the multiverse to protect Earth Prime. His reasoning being that if Earth Prime was able to survive, the rest of the multiverse, minus the ones that were destroyed by the cataclysmic energy expenditure of Una, would be better off. They told Adrian that he should probably apologize for all of that, and he said, "Nah, I'm not going to do that," and he left. Leaving our hero sort of holding the bag. Until a few weeks after the Nether War, Resonant was interrupted by a number of strange visitors from across the multiverse, including a sorcerer who looks a lot like Adrian Eldritch, dressed in a red cloak, with a sharp, Stark-like goatee. A man in a golden helmet, a woman dressed like Carmen Sandiego, and a blind seer who mentioned that they have come from the multiverse with this creature, Glimpse, and are looking for answers about what has happened to their universes. Which is where we will pick up with Resonant.
So they throw Glimpse down at her feet. Resonant stares at the 4 strangers on the doorstep to the sanctum and says, "Wait, are you telling me that you knew what was going on? You had the power to get here and you did nothing? And you're berating me and my friends for what we tried to do to save everyone?" And she slams the door in their face.
Wow.
And you hear muffled through the door Doctor Strange tell Dr. Fate, "I told you that's how it was going to go." He's got horrible bedside manner, Fate. And there is a much softer knock on the door.
She sets herself and opens the door again. And if it's Fate standing there, the door's getting closed right back in his face.
It's Minerva standing there.
Okay.
And I will do what I did to Calvin at Guardians of Haven.
I was gonna
I knew it was coming. Ah,
You only have to do one.
apologies for him. He's got a lot going on in that helmet of his. And, oh, well, as Stephen said, he does have horrible bedside manner. Got off on the wrong foot. My name is Minerva. I'm not from around here, as you can probably tell, but the 4 of us were here looking for answers. Hoping maybe you'd be willing to share some with us?
And Strange
Only
will
if you-
walk up and introduce himself as well. Yes, I am Dr. Stephen Strange, Sorcerer Supreme of my home universe, which I believe is like the Master Mage of your dimension. And you're right, we saw that there were issues around, but we presumed that you had things under control.
You know what assumptions get you.
a lot of trouble.
And that seems to...
He looks down and glimpses on the ground.
And that seems to be what we've got ourselves here. All right. Come in. I'll do what I can. Do you need me to call the others, or...
Yes, that would be lovely. I think if we put all of our heads together, we can come up with a solution to this.
Okay. Resonant will get on the comms to the rest of Freedom League Dark. Notice that the message goes unread by Overdrive. And
Ghosted.
wait for the others to show.
And everybody except for Deuce will receive that message.
Is this like midday or like what? When is this happening?
This was like early morning.
Yeah, early morning.
Okay. Then, yeah, Bowman's probably just in the quiver working on a new type of arrow when he sees this message and, yeah, make his way over there.
Curia will untangle herself from her husband and give him a little kiss on the forehead and leave without saying anything.
Are you at Freedom Hall?
Yeah. Go down the hall.
You are leaving your room as Ray is coming to knock on the door again.
No, he's not!
Kat, you knew it was happening as soon as you said yes.
Immediately, I like slam the door closed behind me. Hey, you.
Hey, it looks like Resonant sent out a message.
Oh, she sent it to you too?
The Freedom League Dark communicators get routed to us.
So why are you here?
I was coming to see if you wanted to go down to the Nexus together.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go.
And he'll wheel around and he'll start flying after you. How's Davey?
I don't have Davy anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, you know how speedsters are, always making ultimate sacrifices.
Yeah, they do that.
Losing their bodies, and he sort of looks down at his body.
You know, if I can, I'll find a way to get your body back.
I appreciate that. I'm
If
kind of
that's
getting used to
something-
the way I am, though.
If that was an option you had, though, would you want that?
I'd have to think about it.
Just think about it, even if it's not realistic, and then just let me know.
And he will just turn his blank mask towards you, in what you assume is a reassuring glance.
She'll sort of like pat him on the arm real friendly like, not romantic at all, and then keep on flying.
It's a platonic pat.
Platonic pat. Yes.
Excellent. Mortis?
Mortis will wake up and look around and go, oh, who is paging me this early? And fumble with the communicator and then sigh and then get ready and head on over.
Excellent. And by your powers combined, everybody arrives at the Nexus. Where you see Resonant, you are in the sitting room with Sala, who is serving tea to Isabella, Minerva, and Stephen, while Dr. Fate is floating sort of imperiously above everybody else with his arms crossed.
Glimpse is placed in a chair, at the very least.
Yep, Glimpse is there. You think that Fate is focusing on a spell to keep him in place.
Have some new friends, Resonant?
Maybe. So, you remember what happened when we took down Una? This is the fallout. Do you want to explain?
Stephen will stand up and look at everybody and say, "Hello, I am Dr. Stephen Strange. I am the Master Mage of another Earth, who was affected by the fallout of what happened with Una. We captured this being, Glimpse, and figured we'd bring him back to his home dimension to see if we can figure out what is going on together. My gold-headed, recalcitrant comrade up there is Dr. Fate, and this is Minerva and Isabella, representatives of Mr. Powers."
It's nice to meet you all.
I'm gonna need you guys to give us reasons to trust you because honestly, you look a whole lot like a guy that we used to trust, and that didn't go very well.
Dr. Strange will look down at his himself in his cloak. "Yes, I gathered that." He looks over at the mantelpiece where Sala has a couple of pictures of Eldritch.
Then you understand.
"Yes, I understand more than you think. I have run into more than one Master Mage who has been quite troublesome throughout the multiverse during my time as Sorcerer Supreme. I've run into Mies that have been troublesome throughout the multiverse.
Fancy.
I fought one in a duel with a piano once, but not in a way that you would think. But that's not
Okay.
here or there. And he says, "I'm sorry that you've had trouble with your Master Mage, but I assure you I'm here to help as best I can. My universe is in danger."
They had the power to get here. It's not unreasonable for them to have an understanding of what things are like elsewhere based on what happened. And we all know, well, some of us know and remember our dealings with Glimpse there.
Glimpse lifts a hand from underneath the gold magic, holding him in place, and waves.
What questions do you have?
What is this thing? And they point at Glimpse. Why does it seem to have the ability to manipulate reality wherever it goes?
Sala, you know more about Glimpse than we do, since Adrian kept him here. But from what I remember, it's kind of a extra-dimensional being who enjoys looking in on reality.
Sala will nod and say, "Yes, the Chronozoids are sort of fragmentary beings who exist outside of regular space-time continuum. And they quite enjoy looking at the different possibilities of things.
And manipulating them to some degree.
To some degree, but never like this before." Glimpse says, "Well, that's not fair. I wasn't really acting under my own volition."
You're telling us that Adrian had you under his compulsion?
He forced me to.
How?
He threatened to lock me in place again. And I cannot do that. He said he'd trap me back in the mirrors and I would never escape. And the only reason I escaped before was because he allowed it. You don't know, but that is not a way that a being like me can exist.
What exactly did he want you to do?
To refract the magic of the spell throughout the multiverse to affect other yous, guys. He wanted you all to survive, knowing that you would sacrifice yourselves.
Why didn't he just let us die?
He's a soft spot in his heart for you all. And Seven cares about you.
But if he had all of this planned out, he has to know that we're not willing to take this lying down. Not willing to let him just gallivant across the multiverse, doing whatever he wants.
Glimpse shrugs his shoulders. He didn't explain his plan to me.
No, they never do.
Yeah, but it was strange. You never explained it in any universe. I checked all of them. Even where there are particularly monologue-y Adrians.
So you get more monologue.
Oh yes, there are some that are more monologue-y. And less.
Check the ones that were destroyed?
To the best of my ability. It's hard to look in on a destroyed universe, though.
That was why I was asking.
And those universes aren't really destroyed. They're consumed by darkness. It's a small but subtle difference.
Is it still Una's darkness?
Some of it. Some of it is Dormammu's darkness.
What now?
Oh, he's the king of the dark dimension. He knows about it, and he points over at Strange.
Dormammu?
I don't name him.
Tight.
We have a lot of proper nouns in my dimension.
Okay.
What other questions do you have?
What can we do to help? This feels like the kind of thing where we should pull our resources together. I've run into these kinds of multi-dimensional threats before.
Well,
Could have came before, and none of this would have happened.
Well, it
Yeah,
wasn't exactly brought to my attention before my universe was attacked.
Convenient for you.
they're offering to help. Should at least hear him out.
Tell that to the Centuria that's dead.
You could say that to a lot of the ones of us that are dead.
Could. What can you do to help?
Well, Dr. Fate and I are the most keen magical minds in our dimensions, and Isabella and Miss Vauntner are representatives of a being of pure creation, whose abilities I do not 100% understand myself.
So you come with arcane power and the spark of life itself? Are we supposed to rebuild the worlds that were lost?
That is one of the things I would like to do, but we have to find Eldritch and stop him. I don't imagine this is the end of his plan. I've consulted the Book of Ashanti about it, and I have heard of this eldritch being. I believe he is looking for the nexus point of all realities. To what purpose, I do not know, but there is a convergence at the center of the multiverse that a gifted sorcerer could use to do a lot of terrible things. And a lot of wonderful things, but based on what I know about your Eldritch, I don't think he has good intentions.
Resonant's going to look over at Sala and see how well he's taking this.
He is sort of standing stoically with his knuckles white-knuckled on his side.
She'll reach out and grab his hand and give it a squeeze.
And he sort of nods appreciatively towards you.
What do you need from us?
Just your guidance. You're the ones calling the shots. This is your villain. But I suspect your journeys will be taking you into our various multiverses, and we wanted to be there to act as guides when the travels took you there. And if we can put our heads together to create some kind of transportation device between the multiverses, that would be excellent as well.
I'm assuming it took a lot to get here.
Yes. We have something with us that can help make it easier, but we will need time and we will need magical power to make it truly work.
Mortis, do you want to take a look at it? You're the best I know of with dimensional travel.
I kind of cheat, but I can try.
All right. Well, Bowman, Centuria, are we up for this?
I just want to find Eldritch before he can do more damage.
Me too. She's like literally staring into these visitors' souls, glaring with the Centuria glare.
Thunderbolt is like hovering behind you, like, ooh, you guys are in trouble.
Okay, well, I guess we should get started.
Perfect. And Steven will point up to Dr. Fate, who looks down at Mortis. And despite not having eyes on the outside of the helmet, you can tell he is giving you the Fate stare. And he mutters an incantation, and an ankh opens in front of you. And Mortis, you see this sort of crystal-shaped device. It's kind of made of different colored shards of gemstones with a weird sort of sigil in the center of it. That looks like it's almost like an S, but it doesn't quite look as you expect it to look. It is radiating with some sort of powerful magical energy, however.
And what is this? And looking up at my reflection in the helmet. And what is this tied to?
It is tied to several places of immense power. A crossroads of sorts. I suspect you are the being that is meant to unlock its potential.
A deep breath and sigh, and I will reach out for it
It almost lunges into your hand as you reach out for it. There is several almost like radioactive green rays that come out of it as it latches onto you, as it places itself in your hand. And the S symbol begins to glow with sort of a radiating rainbow of colors. And you feel the similar kind of pull that you feel from the crossroads and from the Soul Vault.
And while that's going on, I'll actually reach out and open a path into the crossroads.
As you open that path into the crossroads, you feel magical energy pour through you in such a way that it has never done before. You are almost overwhelmed by the amount of power that passes through you, through the vault, and into this crystal, which begins to grow and twist and expand. There's the sound of cracking glass and splintering wood as the Nerean nexus around you begins to move. The floors begin to pull apart, windows begin to shatter, and everything begins to enter this maelstrom of broken debris and magical energy pouring forth from you and the crystal. And it begins to tap into the inner magics of Resonant, Centuria, Bowman, Strange, and Fate, as this almost rockstar kaleidoscope of magical energy fills the space. After several moments, the world begins to stop spinning, and you see that the Nexus itself has been converted. You are still standing in the smoking room of the Nerean Nexus, but there is this sort of large, elaborate, round window on the top that's never been there before, with this strange sigil on it. There are several MC Escher-style staircases climbing up and around and all over the place. There are several floating displays showing magical artifacts passing in and around everything. And you think you hear big band music playing from somewhere deeper in the Nexus? And Strange and Fate collapse to the ground.
Where is this kind of swaying in his boots right now, and looking for someplace to collapse himself.
A chair will materialize behind you and catch you. And Strange looks over at Fate and says, "I didn't think it was going to do that, chum." The crystal was going to do what it was fated to do.
What did... Mortis, are you okay?
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry, what? A little dizzy.
Are you okay?
I think so. Just took a little bit more out of me than I was expecting. Not that I really knew what I was expecting to begin with, but seriously, what the hell just happened?
Isabella will stand up. She'll say, "There's been a convergence. We have locked a number of places together, bringing our multiverses ever so closer together." Also, thank you, Green Ronin, for the bits. You have a hero point that you can give to the player or GM of your choice.
And as she says that, I'm gonna look around. Does it seem like this place has been kind of anchored to the actual crossroads?
Give me an expertise
Crossroads
check. Also, thank you,
Almost
Green
like this.
Ronin, for giving me a hero point. I promise I will use it for evil.
No, that's his second one.
Oh. What the heck?
Oh, you can roll better than that.
I can.
There's a table point out there if you want to use it.
Okay, I'll use my hero point. It's a whopping 18. So.
But it's a hero point reroll, so it becomes a 28 because you rolled a 7 on the dice. With a 28, as you are sort of feeling the energies around you, you can feel the crossroads sort of in the bedrock of this new location. But it seems to be almost like you've come to the edge of the universe. You feel almost like this feeling of sinking and falling as there is some kind of void around. And you can sense souls passing between this location and other locations. It looks like wherever this is, it is much easier to move from universe to universe in this space.
What does this convergence point do for us?
Well, with a little bit of elbow grease and magical ability, it allows us to open portals into several key multiverses, so we can begin our search for Eldritch.
Feels like we're kind of stuck ourselves in the spaces in between. Like we're buffing up against the walls of multiple places. We're hidden in the seams in between.
Did you just make this? Did you just make the Nexus glimpse?
I guess in a way we did. You notice glimpse is gone. That is a slippery creature, isn't it?
Well, when your magic's getting sucked out of you, you don't really have a whole lot of time to focus on a containment spell.
I'm sure he will make himself known again before too long. He seems to like to interfere.
If not him, maybe another one of his kind.
And as our heroes start to settle into their new location, their new role in all of this, 6 months is going to pass. During those 6 months, you're able to map out portions of this mixed location with the help of Minerva, Stephen, and Dr. Fate. You're quickly able to realize that you have blended the Nerean Nexus with Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, Fate's Tower of Fate, and Club Tartarus, the nightclub at the end of Infinity. And you're able to start stabilizing rooms, start creating spaces that the heroes are able to operate out of, and you're able to open the orrery again, which reveals sort of several nearby worlds. There are large golden orbs around, thanks to the magical aid of you and the four master mages who are here, along with our magical multiversal travelers. You're able to start stabilizing all of that. And you're still able to pass in and out of the Nexus to go about your daily lives. Before we check in with everybody else, I want to take a quick little trip to Emerald City. Particularly to an Aegis prison in Emerald City. There are a couple of Aegis agents making their way down a hallway, flanking on either side of Daedalus, who is dressed in his bronze armor with his helmet on. Where we meet Kevin's character locked in a cell. Kevin, please tell us a little bit about who you're playing.
So sitting in the cell against the wall is a large, green, scaly alligator man. There's no other word for it. Uh, wearing a cheap but workable suit that obviously someone found for him for a court case that he obviously didn't do so well in. Gator Man's a poor hard luck guy who does whatever he thinks he needs to do. Maybe not the right thing, but whatever he says he does. And for the moment, he is biding his time in jail after being caught.
And dudes, for my sake, are you a stormer?
I believe he was.
Okay. So as Gator Man is basically waiting in his cell, you do see the Aegis agents come up to the bars, and you hear Daedalus's voice say, "What is your name? It's Xavier. Xavier what?"
Hawkins.
Hawkins. Ah, Mr. Hawkins. It's a shame to see you in there.
I've earned it, so I'm here. What do you want?
Well, I understand that you are a man who is looking for some redemption. It may be a bit of direction in your life that you've not found before now.
Don't know. Got plenty of direction, but what are you offering?
Some of my allies are mounting an expedition that is going to call for muscle. And muscle that might be willing to do things that other heroes might not be willing to do. I know your record. I've seen what you've gotten up to since gaining your powers in the storm. And I want to offer you a chance to redeem yourself and to get out of here.
All right. So, I didn't know you had friends, but fine.
Well, some of them are more like colleagues.
So how much off the sentence does it give me?
If you're successful in your endeavors, you will be freed from prison. We will commute your entire sentence.
All right. I'll do it. Where am I going?
We're heading to Freedom City.
Doesn't seem like a long expedition, but okay.
Oh, you meant after we get to Freedom City. It's probably best if I let them explain where you're going. I will say you're not going to Kansas.
Oh.
Probably. Not this Kansas. Anyway, come along.
He'll stand up from there, shrug his shoulders, look at the guards, and stick his hands out like he's used to getting cuffed every single time they've opened the cell thus far, and just waits.
Daedalus looks over his shoulder and says, "Those will not be necessary." And the guards look at each other like, he eats people. Probably. We don't know if he eats people. But the one guard will sort of shakily put the key card up against the lock, and the door will open for you.
I'll walk forwards, take a step behind Daedalus, look at the guards, and go, "See you later, Steve. Been nice talking to you."
You too, Hawkins. Stay out of trouble.
He'll laugh, but it just comes out as that horrible kind of hiss that a gator does before falling in step behind Daedalus.
Oh, you guys are killing me in chat. With some kind of Freedom League Dark Squad. And Daedalus will take you up to the roof of the prison to a waiting Pegasus ship, and he'll sit down and he will take you on to Freedom City.
While it's just them, he will look up and go, "So, I got a request. I can't say a condition because I've already agreed to it, but I got a request."
Sure.
Emerald City Hospital, room 302. Just take care of her while I'm gone. Make sure she's taken care of.
Nico sort of looks over his shoulder. Says, "We have a couple of minutes. Would you like to stop by before we get going?"
No. Just as long as I know she's alright. She don't want to see me like this.
I'll ensure that she stays safe.
Whatever hell I'm going into, I'll do it. You got me.
P.S. She's definitely not going to stay safe.
Mm-mm.
She'll be fine.
Doom, 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 doom.
Doomed.
That's right.
Mickey!
We're back to natural brand trauma.
Why do you put targets in your backstory with Alex? I don't know.
It's good for you. It's good for the story. I'm here for it. But I'd like to check in with everybody as Gatorman is making his way from Emerald City to Freedom City. What has your character been up to during the last 6 months? Starting with Centurion or Resonant.
I would imagine Resonant has been spending a lot of time with the multiversal visitors that have shown up here, trying to get a handle on everything that's been going on, doing a lot of work to map stuff out. Sounds like I also need to make a couple of stops at Claremont a few times throughout the 6 months. Check in on Sam, make sure the shop's doing well. I did promise Sam that promotion and training, so that's probably been happening as well. So Resonant has not been idle by any stretch of the imagination.
Have you been teaching Sam any magic on the side?
No. That portion of things is still on the down low, unless Sam has suddenly come to the realization that things are not what they seem with her boss.
Oh, I thought
with their boss.
I thought you told them about it.
Don't remember if I did or not.
When you rescued them from the demons that were eating Freedom City.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that episode just to make sure. Okay, but so we'll hold that. If that turns out to be a true statement, then yes. If it turns out to be a false statement, then no.
Schrodinger's apprentice.
Schrodinger's apprentice.
Awesome. So Resonant's been very busy, obviously.
Yes.
And the relationship, or I'll let you decide, but Strange continues to be helpful, Fate continues to be taciturn, and Minerva and Isabella both continue to try to be conciliatory between all of the parties.
Yeah, I would say there is a bit of hostility between Resonant and Fate because, well, he thinks he knows everything. Steven, to some degree, because he does have that air of superiority, but he's at least willing to work with people. There's a better working relationship there. I probably would imagine she does find it easier to work with both Isabella and Minerva. With Minerva, she will spend a lot of time actually trying to understand the runes that are inscribed in her, and help ward her even further, to keep her safe.
Excellent. And they have been able to pass back and forth between their multiverses. They haven't been here 100% of the time. And sometimes they come back with other people from their universes. You mean a very, very grumpy woman named Magic from Steven's universe.
Ooh! Morris gets along with her fabulously.
Yes.
Yes.
She seems to be the portal expert. Using her big-ass sword to cut holes in reality.
My sword doesn't do that.
Your sword is also a scythe, so.
Yes.
That's true. It is a site that's real handy. What about Mortis? What have you been up to in the last few months?
Uh, hanging out with Medina because, well, that's what you do.
That's
Um,
bestie.
um, other than that, obviously spending time with Nick and spending time at this new Nexus, trying to figure out, how to navigate from it down to the underworld and the crossroads, and just kind of really sorting out how that goes, and and then seeing if these crossroads will basically do exploration, seeing if these crossroads will lead me to other crossroads in other where the others call home. I probably took an expedition with um, the girl that calls herself Magic at one point to try that out to see where we can get to and how kind of the back roads and hidden pathways between the crossroads and limbos and hells and um, yeah.
I'm here for it. That's awesome. I want to see the Magic and Mortis expedition, the Crossroads issue. But yeah, that's sort of the contribution has been mapping out the Crossroads, because that's sort of the root idea behind being able to travel to all the different universes. You've sort of been finding paths between this universe and the other ones in question.
Because the
Bowman?
crossroads kind of accesses the cracks in between worlds.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Bowman, what have you been up to?
Few things, I suppose. Well, under his civilian identity, he's had to like take over certain things at the Freedom Ledger since his father is no longer around. Although over time he kind of treats that more just as like a pool of resources to fund the Bowman thing, because that's kind of where most of his time and energy is like now being focused on. Especially once Jason's out of the nest, it's kind of just him in the quiver alone a lot of the time. Except for when he's over in the Nexus, and the main thing the main thing he's trying to help with is trying to figure out how to find Eldritch, but the main thing he wants to do is go spend some time with Seven now that she's back. But she is, I believe, off in another netherworld.
Yeah, she's in Netherworld Prime. Trying to put it back together because she's still the queen of the Netherworld, even though Una is gone.
And I don't know if he's allowed to just like take little jaunts and trips without it being for like an actual purpose.
I don't see why not. He's probably allowed to at least go say hi.
I don't know how big a deal that would be. I mean, he wouldn't tell anyone about it, but he would definitely be going there occasionally just to see her. So he's probably going to end up spending a lot of time here. And also, while he's here, he's going to be following up on his arrow projects he was working on before. He's going to be studying some runes and symbols and things he can carve into some of his arrows to see if he can get some sort of magical effects from them, because he's going to be dealing with more magical stuff in the immediate future.
All that magic stuff. Excellent. Seven is receptive to you coming to visit, but she limits your visits. There's been a couple of like tense moments where you've sort of reconnected that flame, and she's asked you to leave like immediately after that.
Yeah, I think Fletch he expected things to go back to the way they were like 10 plus years ago and a whole nether war ago. And very obviously they will not.
Yep, it gets a little hot, and she's like, "No, I'm the queen of the Netherworld. I can't do this with you."
Yeah, and then he'll just go back, and he'll be a bit grimmer in some ways.
Broody in the boat cave.
Exactly.
And Centuria, what have you been up to?
So while Centuria has been helping in the Nexus however she can, and also trying to sort of fulfill her regular superhero duties with the Freedom League, because I'm assuming that they need her all across Freedom City still, since she's the big strong girl. She's been trying to change Dave's body as much as she can without it being permanent. And I don't mean that
What
in
does
a
that
like
mean?
so like she's
Hmm.
like cutting
So-
his hair and dyeing his hair
Oh.
and getting him contacts and like stuff, trying to
Hmm.
get it so that he can go outside and he's not just stuck in their room.
Centuria's not like bringing a plastic surgeon in on
No,
the down low.
because she doesn't want to do that, because if this is going to end up being Ray's body again, then that's messed up. So she's doing like little things that, and he probably has gone out with her a couple times, but it's been like full celebrity mode, like sunglasses, hat, hoodie, hood pulled up. And I'm assuming the paparazzi has probably caught them a few times and been like, "Who's Centuria's mystery man?"
Mhm.
And Ray Gardner Jr. is like, "Who is that?" Little does he know that it's him,
But not him.
but not him.
There's been a couple of close calls with Ray.
Yes. So, I imagine that's what she's been doing, just like sort of carry on her regular life while also trying to enjoy her time with her husband. Sort of.
Twice in the last 6 months, you have received a message from Shadowin Steelgrave
Oh yeah. I forgot
saying,
about that.
saying, "I have begun fomenting uprising in the Terminus. We are just awaiting your arrival to continue the final assault against Omega."
So much fomenting.
Centuria's sort of panicking about that too, because she doesn't know what she's going to do about that.
I assume you left him on red after the last
Yeah, she
message.
has not responded at all. She's like, got a lot of other stuff to do. Do you guys know about that? Does like the rest of the Freedom League Dark know about that?
I don't know if you ever told us that
I
you
don't
were.
think that she ever told them, so she's also just like, it's almost like too late to tell you now. Like it's like been so long that it would be awkward now.
No, it's just-
It'll be even more awkward when he just shows up.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh no, why are you here? Then I can just play it off.
He's like, "I'm here to hand you the keys to the rebellion, ma'am." What rebellion? What have you been up to?
It's okay, Resident. But yeah, so avoiding him, trying to help her husband, and then just doing superhero stuff.
A lot of avoiding going on in Centuria's life right now.
Yep.
This is the way.
This is the way. So it's been about 6 months, and today is the day that you are basically opening the orrery and keeping an eye on and sort of deciding what you're going to do next. You've gotten through the first stage of preparing the Nexus for the hunt for Eldritch. It's sort of an auspicious day. Daedalus is meant to be here. Seven is making a trip from the Netherworld to sit in and advise as she can. Strange is here, Magic is here, Fate is here. Minerva and Isabella have both arrived, along with a new woman named Caroline. And they're all sort of here to assist as much as they can. Yeah, Dr. Adam is here with through the technology on Bowman's Gauntlet. And Daedalus will bring the four of you aside, the Freedom League Dark aside, and say, I just want you all to know I'm very proud of the work that you've been doing over the last few months. I know this isn't easy dealing with Eldritch, and I suspect that this hunt is going to reveal a lot of things that none of us are particularly happy to see. But I can't think of a better team to go into this situation. I'm sorry that Dave won't be present for it.
Hoping that his walkabout's at least helpful for him. He deserves the rest. He suffered a lot. Probably a little bit more than the rest of us did.
Yeah, I think he'll find the hero in himself, and he'll come back to us. But it could take some time.
I
And
just want him
remember,
to
I
do
had a
what's best for
walkabout
him.
once that was 500 years long.
Not everyone's immortal.
No, I suppose not. Speaking of immortality, however, I know that you have the ultimate reanimator on your side. He sort of looks over at Mortis and gives him a wry smile. But with your numbers depleted as they are, I've coordinated with Mr. Mars out in Emerald City, and I have found a assistant to help you with your expedition.
You didn't think to run
Ask?
that by us?
Well, no, I'm the leader of the Freedom League.
Centuria's like nodding, like, yeah, that makes sense.
Thanks, Centuria. Kat, you
What
can
is
fight
it?
Wiki in the comments.
Mortis is rolling his eyes so hard.
So, who did you bring? One of the other heroes from Emerald City?
No, I figured we needed something more predatory for this mission, something that could track and hunt. And
I am giving Mortis the side eye like, what the hell?
something that, if given the scent of Eldritch, would be able to find it across any distance.
Why do you keep referring it to a thing? Is it not a person?
Well, he
We
is
already have a dog.
Well, yes, but I figured you wouldn't want to bring Brutus into the multiverse again after what happened last time.
Is it another dog?
No, his he is. Well, it's probably best if I just show you, and he will walk over to the Pegasus and unload the ramp. And Deuce, come on down.
He pulls the curtain aside. Here.
It's a song. Oh,
A brand new washer.
Gator Man will step out from the landing bay onto the ground beside Daedalus. Freedom League. Hi.
This is
Those
Mr.
ones.
Hawkins. He is a stormer from Emerald City. Known
Do
as
we
the Gator
know
Man.
who? Okay. Are we of the Gator Man's reputation?
You can give me an expertise supervillains check.
Would I know? Would he be well known in my universe?
No.
We're special.
That's
Yeah.
22.
There actually wouldn't have been a Silver Storm in your universe because Una destroyed it before then.
Yikes.
Harsh.
Bowman, you have heard of the Gator Man out in Emerald City. You know that he attacked the Stormbreakers at one point, but managed to slip away before Aegis was able to arrest him, and he evaded capture for quite some time until he was recently arrested and locked up in a high-security prison.
So,
tried to
definite
eat the
bow
metal guy.
squint.
Definite post squint.
Yeah, that metal guy stole my bow once, so I'm not.
Screw that guy. Thank you for following Only Play Wizards. You have a free hero point that you can give to the hero or game master of your choice.
Please don't give it to the game master. He already has 2. Have mercy.
I promise I will use it for evil.
It's true.
Resonant will give Daedalus a very direct look, almost boring through his bronze helmet. And she will walk up the ramp and extend an arm, or extend a hand. Mr. Hawkins, welcome to Freedom League Dark.
Thank you. He'll reach out and shake your hand, obviously being very ginger. Not in any way trying to be posing or threatening, but obviously checking his strength to be respectful. Yeah, I call it a work release program, but it's a way out. So he said, you could use some help. I'm willing to help.
Well, we appreciate the help. I appreciate the help. We'll talk before we go anywhere. Is that okay with you?
Door's always open.
Okay. She will turn back around, walk directly up to Daedalus.
Smack him.
I know that we're part of the Freedom League, but you gave us a little bit more autonomy than anybody else has because of what we deal with. You could have at least floated the idea by us.
My apologies. This Eldritch situation has me shaken up a little bit.
You don't think the rest of us feel that way? He used us. He used our sacrifice to destroy portions of the multiverse. I don't think any of us have really come to terms with that yet. And now you're just putting a random meta on this team?
I've consulted a couple of oracles, and he has a part to play in all this.
Okay. I'll trust you. But you have to trust us in the future. This isn't a one-way street anymore. We're not kids.
Daedalus bites his tongue.
While this is happening, Centuria's walking up to the gator man with her eyes squinted, just like sizing him up. So, what's your thing besides the obvious?
He'll slowly lift his hand again and offer it to you. I'm a gator. I mean, look, I've seen you guys on the news. I'm not some magical flying, wielding monstrosity. I'm a gator. All right. I'm not going to pretend to be more than that.
Have you always been a gator?
No, it's recent. Been ish.
Oh,
There was a
well, go
big
ahead.
storm thing. It made a bunch of them.
I am more than familiar with sudden change. Welcome. And she'll reach out to shake his hand.
He'll do the same. He'll lighten his grip very much so.
Oh, you don't have to do
Regardless.
that.
Regardless of who it is, he still will be probably much, much lighter than he has any need to be with Centuria, but will still be much lighter. Thanks.
Bowman, any thoughts about the Gator Man?
Several suspicious looks, but he will ask Daedalus, how certain are you that we can trust Gator Man?
I am certain that he can be trusted to do the right thing.
Last I heard, he wasn't exactly doing the right thing in Emerald City.
No, but he didn't have somebody to show him the right path. And you, of late, have reminded me of your father and your grandfather in showing people the right way.
Quite honestly, if you look into it, sometimes doing the right thing doesn't mean you're doing the right thing, but doing the wrong thing for the right reasons.
I can definitely agree with that. But if anything goes wrong, just be aware that I'm keeping an eye on you.
Good. If it goes right, you be the first one to tell him. Deal?
Deal.
Did Daedalus tell you what's going on, what we're going to be doing?
Obviously not.
Show didn't.
He
Show
said-
didn't.
He said we're going on an expedition, not to Kansas.
Daedalus prepares people the same way I prepare guest stars.
Yep, not at all. Okay, well, short version. The former master mage of this planet set a plan in motion to do something across the multiverse. We have guests inside the Nexus from other realities outside of our own who have been disturbed by what Eldritch did. We are going on a hunt. We're trying to find out where Adrian went, what he's ultimately planning, and to put a stop to him. But that's going to take us further from home than any of us have ever been before.
Fair enough. Well, I'll help you hunt him. In the meantime, I'll look at Daedalus. You just remember the deal. For the rest of you, I'll help you every bit I can.
I will ensure her safety and comfort.
Well, let's head downstairs then. Let's hope that everything in the last 6 months we've done to get this place ready doesn't turn out for naught.
Excellent. So, as the team descends down into the depths of the Nexus, I think that's probably a great place to take our quick break before we jump into figuring out where we're going to go in the multiverse first. So thank you everybody for bearing with us as we are barreling through this journey. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes after we stretch our legs, grab a drink, grab a snack, and we'll see you back in just a little bit.